Next slide, please. So let's first briefly introduce or reintroduce to you the Python language. The Python is a high-level programming language that is most commonly used in the fields of data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. It's super popular right now, and it is a great language to start programming with because its code are very human readable, so you can focus on getting the basics of logics down instead of worrying about syntax. So now we dive into the details. The variables in Python are used to hold values. This value can be changed in access so that code can be reused. It is what the compiler will hold in memory for the length of your program. And to create a variable, you give it a name and a value. And variable has types. In Python, your variables will automatically be given a type, so there's no need to specify. But here are the common types of variables. So integers are whole numbers, like someone's age, which is the name of the variable shown in the example. It can equal to 20 years old, which is an integer value. Below that is the float, a decimal number, and they must include a decimal point. So for example, height might equal to a decimal number like 160.3. Booleans are true or false statements. For instance, I'm utterly overjoyed to be teaching you all of this. So am I happy is uppercase true. When I wake up to school, am I happy equals to false. So uppercase false. And below the Boolean, one note here that the Boolean must start with a capital letter. If it doesn't, it's gonna be a normal string and it won't act as a Boolean. Okay, so below that is the string. That's anything we'd recognize as actual text. But you'll notice that it must be surrounded by either single or double quotes. Now, a list is exactly what you would expect. It's a variable that holds a list of items in a certain order, and it can hold any of the data types we've just mentioned. So we note that this is a list because the square brackets, the strings inside indicated by the quotes, and the commas separating each string. And note that the list items do not have to be of the same type of variables. It can be in the same string, different types like integer and string. So once you have defined the list, you can change it by calling the list from writing the name, dot append function will take the bracket and add to it. And if you want to remove something, you use the dot remove function. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in chat. And now that you've got a grasp of those, we will move to operators. Like the kinds you see in math class, the two types of operators are arithmetic and comparison operators. So arithmetic operators are the common ones, like an asterisk or star for multiplication, a / for division, a plus sign for addition, minus sign for subtraction, and percentage sign is for modulus, which is like dividing and then taking out the remainder. And comparison operators are the ones used for computer logic, and they always return true or false. So these include two equal signs for equal to. So 2 = 2 is like asking if 2 equals to 2, which will return true. And an exclamation mark before an equal sign is for not equal to, so the opposite. And an arrow pointing left before an equal sign asks whether the left side is less than or equal to the right side. An arrow pointing right before an equal sign asks whether the left side is greater than or equal to the right side. Here are some examples. So first one, 2 times 4, output 8. And then 6 plus 32 modulus 7. So dividing 7, taking the remainder. But here, be careful that we still need to apply BEDMAS. So you would do 32 modulus 7, which gives you 4. Remember that the remainder is like gone. We don't consider it anymore. So it gives you 4 and then add 6, giving you 10. And the next example, 3 is not greater than 5. So output would be false. And the last is that the comparison operator would be applied last. So adding the right hand and left hand side separately, then asking if the left, which is 13, is not equal to the right, which is 14. So obviously not, and the output would be true. Does anyone have any question at this point? Reminder that we have gone over the variables, list, and here the operators. Okay, if not any, we can move on to the next. So now, of course, most operators are only used with numbers. When you're manipulating strings to make sure the characters you want to include are included and that the spacing lines up as you want it to, you have to use string manipulators. The new line manipulator, which is a \n, moves whatever follows it into a new row. And the tab manipulator, \t, acts like the tab button on your keyboard, which pushes whatever follows it to the next indent. The escape character manipulator is just a \, and it's used when you want to include so-called illegal characters in our output text. For instance, we have to apply this escape character manipulator before the quotation marks, or else it will end our string early, only including the words so ... we added, and causing an error. So we have to put slashes before both the quotation marks that we want to quote within the string. And with all of the basic syntax down, we can apply it in making conditional statements. And as the name suggests, and I saw a raise hand if you have any questions.
Yeah, sorry, can you just go back to the page before? I just want to read the 2 lines.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what is the difference between tabbing and escape character?
Okay, so tabbing is indenting, if you got that. Okay. It like pushes a space back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the escape, sorry, you were asking tabbing and escape?
Yeah.
Okay, escape is when, looking at the example, like this whole thing in the quotation marks, we want it to be a string. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and if we get to the first quotation mark of quotes, it would include that quotation mark, pair it with the first quotation mark, and end the string. But we don't want that because we want to include bracket quotes within the sentence. So we'd have to put the slash to let the computer know that this is a part of the same string, not a new string.
Okay. And the other one, like for tabbing, why don't we click on space multiple times? And then here we go, we have the space.
Well, it's mainly it's to control the amount of space, but also like it's easier that way. When, for example, when you write paragraphs in an essay, you would like tab the new paragraph instead of clicking the spaces. That's like basically the same thing. It's just a method to control that the string is spaced exactly how you want it
to. Okay. I don't know if you can explain it in other way or.
In addition, every single document tabbing has a set distance, but not just a set distance. If I were to type, for example, AB and then tab, the tab would be shorter than like 4 spaces. That's just because tabbing is always in a fixed position. And you can try it if you were to open a Google Doc right now. If you hit tab, it would go to a specific position, but if you put more text and then tab, it would still go to the exact same position. Okay. So it's different from a fixed length. It's moving to a specific index on the document, which is why tabbing is different from spaces.
Okay, sounds good. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to interrupt whenever you have the question. And yes, so the conditional statements, it will do something based on whether or not the statement is true or false. And the main condition used in Python is an if-else statement. And this will evaluate the condition in the if part. And then if that condition is false, then it will move to the else part. So looking at the example, the computer asks if 5 is greater than 3. Since that's true, it will go into the if block and print 5 is bigger than 3. If 5 wasn't bigger than 3, it would print whatever is under else block. Notice that the keyword and the indentation of if and else are in line and followed by colon. And then that code that runs within the condition is indented as well. But these should automatically apply for whatever coding devices you are using. So if, and then bracket the condition, colon, and then the next line will be indented for whatever action will be applied if statement is true, and then it will move on to else if is false. Did everyone catch that? If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, we can move on to the next one, I think. So a step broader, we have functions, blocks of code that can run when called. So they have parameters and output as a result, and they kind of work like math functions. F of x, for example, has x as the input parameter and output something calculated using the value of x. So to create a function in Python, we use the keyword def for define and give it a name that describes what it does. And to have parameters, we add brackets. And just like the conditional statements, we end that line with a colon and indent of the next line, which will run that. Sorry, which is the code that will run when we call the function. So in the example shown, we are defining the function add two numbers with the parameters num1 and num2 in the brackets. And the return a keyword sends back the value of num1 plus num2. So modulus is moving even broader. It is like code libraries that has a bunch of pre-built functions and variables that we can use. So it would be really annoying to have to manually build every function you ever use. So by importing functions from modules, you save yourself a lot of time. And to create your own module, you have to save your program as a .py file. Then to input our own modules or even other pre-built modules from other people, use the keyword import. And if the module name is too long to keep reusing, you can use the word as to rename the module to whatever you want. So looking at the example, our original program was called mymodule.py. And whenever we want to use a function from that file, we call the nickname instead of the full name to keep it shorter. So we've made this module as mm. So when we call it, we would do dot name of the function that we want to use from this file to call for this file. So some common modules you see are the math and datetime modules, which give you even more math operators like square root function, or the ways to get to format the date. And the example shown here is how the math module is a separate file. And from that module, you call the square root function. input parameter 25, you get the output of 5. Any questions on that? Okay. So that's your introduction to Python. And in those some minutes, we flew through everything from variables and lists to operators and string manipulation, and finally, conditional statements, functions, and modules. So if a few things seems a bit abstract, or if you're still starting to grasp some of these concepts, the upcoming body of this workshop will give you some nice practices and help cement those knowledge and make yourself apply. So now if anyone has any questions for the past section, please ask away in the chat or raise your hand to open mic. And if you want to review any slides, you can also tell us to do that. Okay, seems all clear. If you do have any question that pops up, do ask in the chat when the following section comes.
All right, now that we've run through the Python fundamentals, we'll start by actually setting up our bot. So once you have an account, you'll want to create a Discord application. So visit the Discord developers page. The link will be in the chat. You can go and click that link. Okay. You may be prompted to, next slide. All right, you may be prompted to log into your Discord account, but once you're in, this is what you should see, the one on the screen. And once you're here, press the new application button in the top right corner as shown. Then you can play around with the name and description, but be sure to click the green button to save your changes. And if you'd like to test out your bot on a server, we made one just for this workshop. So be sure to name it something appropriate. You can always change the name later. Do notice that the client ID is highlighted here. We don't need this just yet, but it's important to take note of so that we can easily find it later on. I'll stop here for like a minute or so. If you have any questions or if you are still behind on getting to this page, we'll let you have this 1 minute for that. All right, I think that should be good. We'll go on to the next slide now. All right, now that you created your Discord app, now that you created a Discord application, the next step is to add a bot to this application. So head on over to the bot tab using the menu on the left side and press the add bot button. Click yes to do it when Discord asks you if you're sure about bringing a new bot to life.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
So I clicked on the link, it went to my Discord account because I do have an account already.
Okay. So you're only on your Discord account right now, right?
Yeah. Should I create another one? Or?
No. So you see all your servers and friends and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now so you just logged in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. So if you click that link again, you'll go to the Discord developer portal.
Okay.
And do you see the application page now?
No, I only see like email, phone number, password, like just to log in information.
Oh, okay. You should get the application page. after you've signed in and you clicked it again as well.
After I signed?
After you signed in, and then you click the link again. It'll take you to the application page.
Okay, let me try.
I think it's also useful to note to make sure you're not on incognito or any private browser things.
All right, let me know when you're signed in.
So it got me to build an app.
Okay, so could we go back like 1 or 2 slides here? One more. Okay, are you on this one? Yeah, are you on this page right now?
No. So it says like the name and description.
Okay, so you're 1 slide over as well. Okay. Could we go to the next slide now? So are you here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So this is creating a new bot right now. So you can give it a name and you can give it a description, and then just remember that your client ID is here. You'll need to be using that later on as well. That's all.
Okay.
All right. Next slide. And yeah, we just ended up here. So create add bot, and then you'll get to this screen here. Okay. After creating a bot, the last thing we'll need from our bot is its token. Anyone who has the bot token can prove that it's their own bot. So you'll need to be careful not to share this with anyone else. So please note not to mix up the token, which appears in the bot tab on the menu, with the client ID that appears in the general information tab you were just there. You can get the token by pressing the click to reveal token, or you can copy to your clipboard without even seeing it. And take note of your token or copy it in your clipboard, and we'll need it for the code coming up. So now we'll wait for a few minutes in case anyone has any more questions. Raise your hand or type in the chat, or if anyone still has some trouble getting to the screen, let us know.
Alrighty then. So in case anyone else is lost, I'll just quickly do you could call it a live demo of what we just went over. And for the person who just joined this workshop, we already went through Python fundamentals. Sadly, I don't think we'll have the time to go back. But essentially, I'll just put the link in chat again. You can just find yourself to that link and I'll tell you what you should do. Could we go to screen share maybe? Or I guess that's not perfect. Okay, perfect. So essentially, if you go into the link that I just posted in chat, you'll find yourself on this page. If you just hit new application and name it whatever you would like. After there, you can change the photo or the name or whatever. But what we want to do is bot and click add a bot to the server, or not to the server, but just add a bot to the application, and then copy the token we have right here. No, not that, copy the token. That we'll use in the next step over there. In addition to that, what you want to do is scroll down here and make sure you turn on both privilege gateway intents and server member intents.
Yeah, that's the next step to this.
Oops, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's it. For the new person who joined the workshop, if you're still confused, you can put a question in chat or unmute, but that's it for this.
All right, while we're on that screen right now, if you see give me 1 second. Could we go back to the screen share? Yeah, okay. So if you go to the bot application, once we've copied the reveal token, or once we revealed the token and copied it, or we've copied it without looking at it, you'll see the authorization flow here. You'll want to click all of these here, including the intents. We'll need that in the code later on as well. As you can see, the privileged gateway intents and then the authorization flow are all clicked. So do that right now as well. All right, let's go back to the slides. All right, now for this workshop, we made a server for all of you to join and test out your bots so that you don't have to make your own servers. Think of this as a test server where you can spam shamelessly. For those who wish to test out in our server, the invite link is in the chat. So click that link, and you also have to be logged in. So make sure to do that. However, for those of you who may just want to create your own server and test it there, the next few slides are for you. We'll wait like a minute or so until everyone's logged in and is in server. Seems like some people are joining. Nice. I think we'll give it another minute. It seems like only 4 or 3 people are in right now. All right, I think we're waiting on 1 or 2 more people, unless you guys do want to make your own server, and we'll go with that. It'll also be a little bit more convenient if it is your own server, as you can take care of all the permissions and all that, and not interfere with other bots too. All right, now I guess we'll move on. All right, you can create a new server by either opening the Discord application or opening Discord on your web browser. Next slide. So here you'll press the plus icon. If you're new to Discord, you'll have an exclamation mark on the plus sign. And if you already have some servers, your plus button will be at the bottom of your server list. All right, here you click on create my own server. This prompt will come up, but you don't need to select this right now. You can skip this question. And then make sure to give it a name. If you want to give it a server icon, go ahead and do that, but it's not necessary, only the name here. And now you have your server running, and you can chat with yourself or even invite some friends to chat with you. And we'll invite our bot here soon enough as well. All right, now it's time to actually add our bot to the server. For those of you who want to test out in our server and may have missed a link before, it's still in the chat, but we'll send it again just in case. All right. And once you're in there, be sure to react. Actually, we don't have this bot anymore, right? Okay. Next slide. All right. Now we need to create a URL that looks just like this, but using your client ID at the end. We'll put the link in the chat, and paste that link into your web browser. Don't click enter yet. Then go back to your application page where you'll find your client ID, copy that and put it at the end of your URL. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, here on the application page, if you go back to applications and then general information, you'll see your client ID. You copy it and then put it at the end of your URL. And you don't need the square brackets. You can remove those. And yeah, it has been removed here. That's fine. Just added them. All right. Now, once you click enter, visit the URL, and then you'll see this screen pop up. Select the server that you want your bot to be added on, and then complete the CAPTCHA that follows it. And you should get a notification in Discord that says your bot has arrived in the server, either in our server or your server. And we'll stop here for just a moment just to see if your bots are in. Oh, right. We have to make the bot still. Okay, we'll move on from here. Okay, now it's time to get coding for this workshop. The IDE we'll be using is Replit, since it's simply web-based and no further installation is needed. So over at Replit, you'll need to create a new Replit. You also need to log in prior to this. Make sure you've done that. I think we'll give you 1 minute to do that. You can take either of those links that I've put in chat and they'll redirect you to Replit. If you haven't signed in, make sure to do that because that'll be necessary for the next steps. All right, I'll assume that most of you are done. If some of you are still logging in, put it in the chat or raise your hand right now. Okay, I'll take that as a no. All right, let's move on. All right, on the Replit page, you'll see the option create a new Replit. Click the new Replit button. And then you'll be prompted with choosing a language and choosing a name. So you can name your Replit whatever you want, or you'll get a default if you choose not to name it anything. And make sure to click on Python for your language. All right. There's already a great Python wrapper for the Discord bot API on GitHub, which makes it a lot faster and easier to get. Oh, I see a hand raised. What? You can go ahead.
Yeah, so can you explain how to go to Replit? I do already have a Replit account, so.
Yeah, so you see the links I've sent in chat?
Second. So that link didn't want to work. Oh, like Replit, okay. I do have Replit. I'm on Replit already.
Okay, you're on Replit. Are you signed in?
Yes.
Okay, then you want to create a new Replit. And do you see the new Replit button at the top left?
Okay.
Click on that, and then you'll see an option to select the language. Click on Python.
Okay.
And then you'll have to name your Replit, or you'll get a default value if you don't. And that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
All right. There's already a great Python wrapper for the Discord bot API on GitHub, which makes it a lot faster and easier to get set up with the Python Discord bot. To use this library, we can simply write import Discord at the top of our main.py file. On Replit will handle installing this dependency when you press the run button. And the first run may take a longer time due to initialization. And just to make sure, type in import Discord and also click run, just so it doesn't take as long for next time. Yeah, questions?
Yeah, whenever I try to add my bot to the Discord server, it says integration requires code grant.
Try using this link in chat right now and add your ID after that.
That's what I've been doing. I add the client ID to the backend.
No, that's a different link I just put.
It's okay. Yeah, it still says integration requires code grant.
Can you wait for us? I feel like, can you wait for us to finish setting up the Replit, the actual bot code, and then try adding it after that? I think that should.
Okay.
All right, I think we'll continue moving on. Okay. One moment. All right. Remember that we need to be careful not to share our bot token with anyone else, so no one gets full access and control of our bot. Next slide. All right, to get around the problem of needing to give our code access to the token while allowing others to access our code, but not our token, we'll be using environment variables. Replit allows us to create secret environment variables through the secrets menu sidebar. And this is actually a little more convenient than creating .env files, which is usually how it works on your device, but those are also unsearchable in your file explorer or finder. And if you're accidentally to close that env file on your computer, when you need it back, you most likely won't be able to find it. All right, let's get started with actually creating this file. All right, so first we need to click the secrets on the sidebar. You should see it about five down on your left. You see all those icons, the fifth icon there called secrets environment variable. Click on that. Okay, and name your secret in key and insert your bot secret token in value. Note that this is the second token that we got while setting up the bot, not the client ID that we use to add our bot to our server. And question? Is that a question? Okay, never mind. Okay. Now when you create the secret, you can use the code for inserting your secret token. We'll wait here for a moment just in case anyone has any questions or is having trouble making their. Okay, yeah, question.
Could you go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you.
Okay, so if I understand, like we should insert our Discord bot in the Replit, right?
Okay. Are you gonna go or should I?
I was just gonna say I'm gonna do a run through just now. If they have any questions, they can ask it after that.
All right, sure, go ahead.
Yep. Okay. So just like I did for the last section, I'll just screen share my screen and do a run through of everything we've just done. So if you could switch screens. There we go. Okay. Anyways, so we're in the Replit homepage and we just create add on top right and select Python, and we can title it whatever we want. And then right here we have our main.py. We'll just type import, sorry. Discord and run it a first time just so it actually imports. Because it takes a while to import Discord, we'll just wait for it to finish importing. So the next time we run it, it doesn't actually have to install Discord a second time. Anyways, in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll go down to the secret environment variables and create and basically put our bot's secret token in here. So we can name it, if you're following along with the quick start guide, you should name it Discord underscore bot underscore secret. If I can spell. And then if we go back to the Discord developer portal, go down to your bot and copy the bot token here. We'll paste it right here. And then after you've done that, just hit enter, and it will add it down here, the secrets. And after we're done that, we'll just import that as capital. Import OS, as well as we can leave it here, but
yeah, this part is coming up.
Sorry, I saw it on the screen before. I swear it was on the screen. Anyways,
yeah, you can create the token if you want. That we finished that part.
Yeah, okay. But also just to help with the question that EJ asked, if you go to your bot, I think I accidentally clicked this the previous time, but make sure that require OAuth to code grant is off. If you turn that on, then you'll get the error that you were talking about before, which is bot does not have code grant, or whatever. So make sure that's off so that you don't require code grant when you do it. And you can ask your question now.
Oh, no, sorry, I just left my hand up.
No, no problem then. But yes, if you're following along with the quick start guide, I have it open over here. We put the link in the chat before, and we also sent you a PDF. You'll notice that what we're making is just everything that's here. Eventually, we'll explain everything in that code, but that's generally it. Back to the slideshow.
Rapid slide. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna test out the bot. Enter the following code. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah. Enter the following code into the Replit page for lines. I think you should find this code in your quick start guide, but we'll explain what all of this code is. Go to the next slide. One more. All right. So for lines 1 and 2, it imports the Discord library and the built-in operating system library, which is needed to access our bot secret token. For line 5, we create a Discord client. This is a Python object used to send various commands to Discord servers. For line 7, we're defining an event for our client. This line is a Python decorator, which will take the function directly below it and modify it in some way. The Discord bot is going to run asynchronously, which might be a bit confusing if you're used to running standard Python. We won't go into asynchronous Python in depth here, but if you're interested, there's some really good guides and resources over at Free Code Camp. In short, instead of running the code in our file from top to bottom, we'll be running pieces of code in response to specific events similar to action event listener in Java. The program will be constantly listening and run methods as soon as the requirements are satisfied. On top of that, an asynchronous method does not have to finish running in order for another asynchronous method to start running. For lines 8 to 10, we define what kind of event we want to respond to and what the response should be. In this case, we're saying that in response to the onReady event, when our bot gets online successfully, we should output some information server side. This will be displayed in our Replit's output, but not sent as a message through Discord. So if you see on your Replit page, onto the right side, you should see a page similar looking to your command prompt. And that's where all your print statements will be outputted to. Where's on the first one? Okay. Okay, lines 12 to 15 are similar, but instead of responding to an onReady event, we tell our bot how to handle new messages. For line 14 says we only want to respond to messages that aren't from us. Otherwise, our bot will keep responding to themselves. You can remove this line to see what's the problem with that. And line 15 says we'll need a new message to the same channel when we received a message.channel, and the content we'll send will be the same message that we received, essentially an echo. The last two lines get our secret token from the environment variables that we set up earlier and tell our bot to start up. Okay, we've reached another checkpoint. When you click the run button, do you see on the right-hand side of the Replit in the terminal a message that says connected and your bot's name? If you don't see this, or if you haven't got to this step, I would suggest looking at the quick start guide and copy that code over. Okay. And if so, in our test server, is your bot online? Once your bot is online, feel free to spread yourselves out in test channels and try it out. I think we have 4 test channels at the moment. You can add more. Beware though, if one bot says something in response to one user's message, another bot will recognize the previous bot's message as someone else's and echo it as well. We'll give it about 3 minutes again, and then we'll get to customizing a bot a little more. And if you have any questions in this time, please ask or even raise your hand.
And as per usual, I'll just quickly, if we can go back to the demo and basically do what we've just described. So we are currently here, is where we left off last on the demo. And if you go to a quick start guide, just for ease of access, copy this code over, which is double spaced, sadly. Anyways, it's just import Discord, have your intents page here. And these are the different events that we already described. Now, I haven't actually connected the bot yet, but if you have problems connecting your bot, just make sure you can go to the developer portal, go to the OAuth 2 page, and basically generate a URL just for your bot. Just select the bot, scroll down, and select send messages, read message history, as well as view channels. Just those 3 is all you need. And then copy the link, and you'll be able to add your bot to the server if you just paste it on there and select the intro to Python server.
Yeah, this is the alternative instead of using the link.
Link in chat, if that link doesn't work for you. You'll notice that little lamp has joined. Now moving back here, you should be able to, if you get this problem, just make sure to basically retype the quotations here, because the quotations are a little messed up. They're a different type of quotation to the wrong type. And there we go, connected, as well as our bot's name. And that means everything's working, at least for now. If anyone has problems, just go ahead.
So I couldn't pass the code.
You couldn't pass the code?
Yeah.
So what do you mean? You couldn't copy and paste the code into the Replit?
Yeah, so I went to the guide to see, here, and then I copied and I couldn't pass it on Replit.
Oh, okay. A more robust method to just copy it. You can do Control-C or just copy, and make sure to highlight the whole thing here, everything in main.py, and just paste, or I guess Control-V.
Yeah, Control
is what you should get.
Okay.
Did that work? I hope so.
Are you having problems actually running the code or just getting it into the Replit?
So I think it worked right now.
Oh, okay.
So, no, I just was having trouble to copy and paste, so.
All right. Okay, I think we'll get started again.
Back to the slideshow.
All right, now we're ready to create your own customizable bot on Discord. The bot will greet users when they join your server and respond to a prompt with a random quote that you choose. Next slide. All right, now, okay. Note that we will be working in the main.py file here. Yep, okay. So for some terminology now. So client is you can basically think of a client as a connection to Discord, keeping track of things that happen, like new messages. Events are basically actions on Discord that are detected and prompt a reaction in your own code. The code will listen for and react to events. An event handler in our case is a specific function or code that listens for the event and runs the code as a response to the event. The onReady function from the test code before listens for a connection to Discord itself and will print something to the terminal window when that connection is successful. Okay, just as a tip, for the next section, refer to the quick start guide for the code. When you want to test out your changes, rerun the code using these buttons: run and stop. Run will run your code, and then stop will stop your program. To have your bot send a message to a new user, we create the onMemberJoin function. This will handle the onMemberJoin event. The code inside the event handler creates a direct message channel and sends a message. So you first call the createDM function on the member with the dot function. Then call the send function with the message you want to greet the user. You want to greet the new member inside the single quotes. That, if you see the highlighted area, that's what I was just talking about. Okay, another tip. To invite friends to your Discord server, right-click on the icon of the server and click Invite People. There should be an option to invite via link. Check the box that allows the link to never expire. All right, let's run our code and test it out. So now we'll pause for about 10-ish minutes, maybe a little bit less, to give you all the time to make your bot make your own bot respond and test them out in the chat. If you're comfortable with this, send your invite link in the chat. If whoever joins and gets a specific welcome message with it worked in #general channel, so the server owner knows. Or you can test out your bot in our server. Ethan, you want to demo it?
Sure, I can demo this part too. If you can, there we go then. So if we go to the quick start guide, you'll notice that there's number 2 responding to events. You can copy this, or I can also type it from scratch. But yes, make sure it's not double spaced. While it won't break, it just looks a lot cleaner. Anyways, so this is essentially saying on a client-side event, when a member joins, run this code, which is wait for the create a DM and DM in the DM channel, send, hi, whoever just joined, welcome to my Discord server. So if we were to run this code, give it half a second. I guess it doesn't want to.
It'll take a bit of time to add all that stuff you just did.
The attention span of the 21st century. And just to test this out, if anyone else has their bot running right now, feel free to do so. I will. No, I can't leave the server because I'm the owner. Does anyone else?
Can you not give someone else owner and then?
Yeah.
Leave? All right. Yeah, he's just creating invite link right now.
Yep, I'm just creating an invite link so I can actually get back. And hopefully my bot is done by now. I'll assume it's running.
Oh, you can just put in your browser, I think.
Yeah. I'll leave here.
Yeah, and yeah, he's in the server.
And my bot was not online yet. That's annoying.
That's a lot of errors.
Line 15. Oh, that sucks. However, I guess the bot wasn't online then. Or something happened while I was trying to send a message. I really don't want to leave and try it again. But okay, that's awkward. Hopefully it didn't happen to anyone else. But
Right. Okay.
if it doesn't work this time, I think I might just. And that didn't work either. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I forgot to add send private message to the. Essentially, scopes is for a bot. When you specify which scopes you want, you're basically telling Discord what you want your bot to be allowed to do. And I forgot to add send direct message into scopes, which is why Discord isn't letting me. Well, Discord won't let my bot send a direct message to me. Well, let's pretend it worked for a second and we can move on. There are other things you can add anyways. Yes, you can ask. I'm assuming your hand's up because you want to ask a question. Do you have a question? Or
I'm not doing something right now.
anyways, we can move on. We can go back to the slides, I think.
Let me answer this question in chat. I got a direct message, I mean.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
Oh, okay. The invalid character might be the quotations. Do you see anywhere where it might be red underlined?
Yes, well, you're not looking at my screen anymore, but on line 9 of main.py, it should say connected /n. The two quotations around there aren't actually quotations. The character's a bit wonky. Oh, that's really funny. Bots just keep replying to each other.
Oh, I can see some action in the test 1, the test 2. Oh, they're responding.
The bots keep replying to each other. Yeah.
You might need to change the message that it responds to.
If no one else has any questions, we could move on.
Yeah, I think, EJ, you have a question? EJ?
I have a question. So I tried to make it so that whenever my bot reads this message, which I put just for now I put as 1 2 3 4, but previously I've had as Q or P, but right now it's 1 2 3 4. I put await message.channel.send and then in brackets okay, but for some reason my bot isn't sending okay. It's just repeating what I put.
Do you have await in front of that?
Oh, await.
Yeah, because await is
Yeah.
await.
I have that in front.
And what was the conditional again?
So if message.content is equal to 1 2 3 4, then await message.channel.send okay.
And is it 1 2 3 4 in quotations or an integer?
It's in quotations.
Oh. That's strange. Ethan, do you know?
I'm trying to figure that out too, because my bot keeps echoing whatever your bot echoes. I think I just have to delete this part. There we go. If you did you copy over the on member? Do you copy over the async define on message as well? Like that function from
yeah,
the quick
I did.
start guide? Yeah, because what's happening there is on message, it is basically responding to the message constantly because essentially it's reading from top to bottom, right? Your function is never actually being called. It's just calling the function above it, which is the on message of if message.author is not the client user, await message channel and send the message content. You should delete that function because right now you have two functions that are basically listening for the same thing in essence.
Oh, okay. So I delete that. I delete the on message function.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you're gonna have to restart your bot. That should work.
It's still saying 1 2 3 4. Actually,
did you restart your bot?
I pressed stop and then run again. That's how you restart it, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says connected and then test app. When I put 1 2 3 4, my bot isn't responding anymore.
Or
wait, what? 1 2 3 4.
Respond to anything really.
It's just responding. It's just doing the exact same thing.
No, my bot is the one that's test app. The Replit bot application isn't mine.
Oh, which one's yours then?
Mine is the one just called test app 0384.
Oh, I see.
It seems like.
Oh no, I know exactly what happened, but it's going to take a while to explain. Sorry, Karina, would you mind switching to my screen? So here we have this function right here, right? Let's delete this. We have your client event and it's looking for the on message, right? And if the message author is not the client user, await the message or what? Or basically respond with the message they just gave me, like echo back what it just told me, right? But now what you want is you want this thing. So this still has to be under the on message function. So every time they send a message, you still want this to be sent. Sorry, if message author. Yeah, okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is if the method message.authors is the client user, we don't want to run anything because we don't want it to repeat itself or talk to itself. Then we're going to add another if function after that and ask it, is this number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then when it asks that, first we're going to define a response. I completely messed everything up. We're going to define a response, which is not going to be this. Actually, we don't even have to define the response. We're just going to respond with, what did you want to respond with again?
I just responded with okay, but yeah, that works too. You said one.
Yeah. Okay, so right now, this should in theory work. Yeah, there we go. Or what is Repel bot? I'm assuming someone else is following along with exactly what I'm doing or something.
I think it just responds to anything. I think that's
right. No, that bot is responding to anything. Right. But yeah, what this should be doing is, yeah, this my bot is now doing it. If you write the same thing in yours, this function right here, if you write the same thing in your bot and restart it, it should work. What was happening before was that you had this statement right here under it, which was, where's it? You had the await message channel. You had the if it's not the client user, await message channel and send the message content. You had this under that function, and you put it before this if statement, which means you were just sending back the content. What I meant by delete the function, I really meant delete the if statement. Sorry, that was my bad. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I just forgot to put my hand down. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. But hopefully that works now. Anyone else have any questions? Feel free to unmute or just
there is a question I'm answering. Could you, actually, Ethan, can you do it so I can continue?
Can I do what?
Yeah.
I think it's a direct message. I don't think
I know, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll send you the Replit link they sent me. Okay, you should probably switch screens.
Yep. Okay. There we go.
And for Mariah, can you message Ethan instead so I can continue with this right now? All right. Give me one moment. Okay. Now it's time to make an event handler so that your bot responds to messages if prompted by a specific keyword. Feel free to experiment with this. We'll specifically do a movie/shows and a quotes bot, but you can do other things. To have your bot respond to messages on any channel it has access to, you have the onMessage event handler. You can choose for the bot to respond to every single message sent, or if the message is a certain keyword, as we will do, or if it contains a word, etc. You can add multiple types of responses if you want. The quotes we have are stored in an array separated by commas. Multi-line quotes are in brackets. If we want our bot to separate the quote, the if conditional checks to see if the content of the message is the keyword magic. If so, it randomly generates a quote from the array we defined, assigns it to the variable response, and sends it to the channel. Make sure your formatting is correct. Indentation is important in Python. You can add your own quotes. You can make different ones, or you can even make another conditional statement that sees if the string message contains a word. Message in chat to ask the host to search online for this. If let's say if the string hello in message.content.lower, a dot lower just makes whatever the string that's been passed in Discord lowercase. Now run your new code to test it out by stopping it from. Now run your new code to test out by stopping it from running from the previous time and run it again. The new updates don't get registered until you rerun or recompile. Try the keyword in the general channel and see if the bot responds. Ask for help in the chat if you have any questions. Next slide. We want to make sure that our bot works even if we close the Replit page, and thankfully there's a way to do this. We will use Flask, which is a Python framework to help with developing web applications. You basically use it to create websites and web-based programs using Python. You don't need to know the nitty-gritty details of Flask to do this, but you can definitely learn more about it once you get familiar with the Python language. And for some terminology now, a framework is simply put, is a group of functions, variables, etc., pre-written code in the particular language. It is used in our case, Python, to assist you in building your application. It's like the framework to building / structure. You use the bricks to create a building, just like how you use the framework's functions to create your own app. First, make a new file called stayalive.py. Click the button with the plus to make a file in your Replit. You can name it anything you want, but whatever it is, reference this name in. But whenever I reference this name in my code, replace it with whatever you decide to name your file. Then write this exact code. This essentially creates a server which is hosted on Replit, basically as a website. And to find this code, it should be in your quick start guide. Yeah, in the stayalive.py section. Next slide. Also add these lines to the top of your main.py file to import the stayalive function to use it and call it as well. You need to call it here because this is where you run the bot, and to keep it alive, you must set things up where it is being called. Note that this function call should be before anything else, but after the imports. Next slide. Yours should look like this when you run on your Replit. This will keep the bot running for about 1 hour. Now rerun the code and see if your bot works. Close your Replit page and ping the bot again and see if the stay alive function works. Return the program and voila, there you have it, your own Discord bot. The rest of this workshop will serve a question period in time for all of you to perfect your Discord bots and test them out on the server. If you want to take a step further and try out some more different types of Discord bot commands, the Python Discord library, GitHub is a really good place to start in terms of documentation, and the link will be in the chat. All right, now for a question period. We can do the question period after this. Let's move on.
Yep, perfect. So just to reiterate what we're going to be. We went back to slideshow. Yeah, thank you. Just to reiterate what we were doing just before, just find yourselves in the Replit page, top left, make sure you're under files. And you're going to make a new file called stay_alive. It's going to open up a new blank file. And if you go to your quick start guide, you can copy the code under stayalive.py and paste it here. Once again, for some reason, never know why. Just double spaced. There we go. And this is what you should have in the end. Now, if you head back to your main, you're going to look for right after the import Discord and import OS. You're going to make a few new lines here and paste this code in from the quick start guide. And essentially what this is doing is first from stay alive, import stay alive, just from this file, import the stay alive function, and back in main.py, it then runs the actual function so you start the circuit. So now if you try and run your bot, what's going to happen is not only is it going to run the bot soon, a small bit, to actually install Flask. In the meantime, if you have any questions, DM someone, keep something happening. But anyways, there we go. When it finishes installing Flask, it's going to see, as it says here, production environment, and it's going to start a server, which is shown over here, that says I'm running, which means it is actually running. And if I were to, well, there's a chance I might turn off, so I probably won't. But currently, a server is running from this Replit project, which means Replit will actually keep the project alive. And that is it. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. And that is basically the finished bot. And now, just for a quick reviewer, while like previous versions of Replit would have let you make a .env file over here, the new versions of Replit ask that you make it in the secrets key. So when you copy like your bot's secret token and head over to the Replit page over here, just make sure in the secrets environment, you paste your key over here, and above, like when you click on the secrets, the fifth one from the top, you name your key all uppercase, Discord_bot_secret, and you just paste it here. It's obviously not going to let me because I already have one named, but that's how it would work for you guys. That's essentially it. If the bot's not working for anyone else, ask questions. If you want to do something creative with the bot, ask another one. And that's it. Go back to the slideshow, closing slides.
So while you guys still continue to test out your bots, if you do have any questions, you can send them in the chat. But for anyone that do not have any questions, that completes our workshop. So we would like to thank all of you for attending and hope you have enjoyed the session or have learned something. So if you, so we will soon be sending you all an email with a feedback form for your insight on this event. And right now, I am also going to post it in the chat. That's the feedback form. All comments is welcome. And if you want to learn more about PTC and any upcoming events, make sure to check our website at projecttechconferences.com and refer to Project Tech Conferences and PTC Toronto for Instagram accounts for any updates. The message I just posted in chat is our official website, and a reminder that in the upcoming few weeks, other regional teams will be creating some workshops like this one on other topics such as VR or HTML and CSS. If any of your friends or you want to tell anyone about this Python workshop, there will also be another one that is identical to this one on the October 16th by the Waterloo Committee. If you are interested or if anyone around you might be, please refer to their Instagram or our official website for more information. And that On that note, thanks again, and we hope you all have an amazing rest of the day.